author and nutritionist Robert Ferguson. Please welcome Robert Ferguson.
All right, y'all, let's hear it for America's Fat Loss Coach, Robert Ferguson!
Woo! You gotta love it. Hey. Hello, everybody. This is Robert Ferguson. Thank you for being here. I will not keep you long, but I wanted to focus on sharing some information with you that I believe 100% will, it will be very beneficial. Because we're talking about how much protein is enough, right? Protein is everywhere. So as you can see, there's a snapshot of what we're going to get into. And if you were completely new to me, do me a favor, go to our YouTube channel, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so that you can get notified anytime I share information. Now, I do share on LinkedIn, I share on Facebook, but if you don't ever want to miss anything, go to our website at dietfreelife.com, subscribe to our newsletter. Also, you can contact us. But if you go to YouTube, we always put information up there. Now, before I dive into what we're going to talk about, I want to say that this presentation is brought to you by our Detox Drop. We're talking about dropping it like it's hot, dropping blood sugar, dropping blood pressure, dropping body fat, drop. And if you want to learn more about it, just go to our store at dietfreelife.com. Okay. You know what? This is going to be interesting because whenever you bring up protein, how much protein is too much, how much protein is enough, there's a lot of people that like to argue this. But there is a scientific bottom line on a lot of it. And I'm only going to share with you what we 1000% know to be true. And in the next, I would say 10 minutes, you will have a better understanding of protein. And this really sets us up for my next live, which if you're catching this live on a Fat Loss Tuesday, on Wednesday, I'm doing part 3 of a 3-part series that I strongly recommend you listen to. We talked about some really cool stuff, and I'm going to do the same thing in this short snippet. And we're going to talk a little bit about protein in part 3, but we're going to bring it all together so that you know how you can eat in a way where, number one, you're your own best advocate. Number 2, that you can choose wisely and get the outcomes that you want. I mean, nobody likes the idea of working your butt off only to find out that you were doing some things wrong, or you took advice from someone and they came across with confidence, right? And you're like, I'm going to do this. And when you do it, it doesn't get you to where you want to be. Okay. Now, the main goal here today is for you to have clarity about how much protein is enough. Okay. And what is protein and how much is too much? I mean, did you know that you could be consuming too much protein? I mean, we know that there are studies, quite a few, papers that have come out that show that if a person is eating too much protein, they can get kidney stones. Sometimes they can even have elevated levels of glucose, and they're like, "What? I'm not even eating carbs. Like, what is the deal here?" It can contribute back to fatty liver. I mean, there's a lot of negatives if you're consuming too much of anything. And like, how much is enough? You want to preserve your muscle. You want to live your best and healthiest life. And you've heard that, if you eat more protein, you can lose weight. So let's look at this. Number one, let's look at this. Protein is advertised everywhere. You go buy pasta, they highlight protein. You go buy a Snickers bar and they've pumped it up with protein. You go get cereal and they're advertising protein. You go get a tortilla and again, protein's right up front. You go get an energy bar. It's all about protein, even peanut butter, you guys. They're marketing and advertising protein because we're in this place in our head where we feel like I need to eat more protein. If you want to lose weight, eat more protein. If you want to be healthier, eat more protein. And it may be the thing that's causing many people to fall short. It just may be. So my goal in our short time together is to bring clarity to what we mean by protein. And I can say upfront right now and center in the United States, based on our recommended daily values or intake when it comes to protein, what the government has established, and when you first look at it, right, because we're thinking everything is based on the minimum needed so you don't have a deficiency. When you look at the real science to how they actually came up with those numbers, they doubled it. So it's actually way higher so that you could capitalize and make it set up so that the majority of the population, upwards to 97, 98%, if they follow the guidelines, they will not fall short on protein. We don't have a problem getting enough protein, you guys. And you're about to see why. We're overdoing the protein and it's setting us up. And what you're going to learn also today is that you may not be eating carbs, but depending on the balance of how much protein you're consuming, you are making carbs. Woo, that's a good one. Okay, let's dive into it. Okay, and I love the fact that, someone made a post here, and I actually put it in there, like, who to believe? Well, the science is pretty clear. And as a guy who also has a personal experience of being a vegan and coaching thousands of people over the years and having 2 evidence-based clinical trials behind us, I feel pretty confident in my stance, as well as the evidence-based, meaning I'm pulling from all the updated papers. I mean, the things that are the most current. And I'm not going to mention anything that is not true, okay, because it can be fact-checked. You can always reach out and I'll give you the sources. Okay. Number one thing that you want to know is that protein, like when you eat that chicken and we call it protein, or you have a steak, we call it protein, or, whatever you're eating that you're calling protein. The protein in itself is made up of amino acids. So I want you to think of amino acids as letters of the alphabet. Okay. Just think of letters of the alphabet. Okay. And each amino acid plays different roles. They're all essential. I mean, they're not all essential, but we need amino acids to make up protein. So think of protein as the building blocks for hormones, for enzymes, for communication taking place in the body, to build muscle. So amino acids is our friend. Now, there are 20 amino acids, and 9 of these amino acids are essential. Essential simply means that if you are not eating it, right, then you're not getting it. Our bodies cannot make 9 of the essential amino acids, so we must consume it. Now, all of these amino acids are not just in meat and fish and chicken and turkey. They're also in fruits and vegetables. Yes, you can get an adequate amount of amino acids that will build and make up protein in your body by being a vegan. You can thrive, okay? I'm not going to go deep on it. I just want to say out very clear. I've lived it and I've coached people through it. Okay, so we got that down. The next thing you want to know is that there are 3 macronutrients. These are primary sources, like macronutrients. You have carbohydrates, right? So that could be bread, it could be pasta, it could be broccoli, it could be an apple, okay? Plant-based anything. So you have carbs, that is a macronutrient. And then you have fats, right? So whether I ate avocado, maybe butter, okay, we have fats. That's the second macronutrient. And the third macronutrient is protein. Now, there's something interesting, and I'm going to bring it up, but I'm going to go right past it. 2 of these macronutrients are essential. 2. One of the macronutrients is not essential, meaning if you didn't eat it, you don't need it. So what's your guess before I keep going forward? Which of the 3 macronutrients is not essential? Is it carbs? Is it fats? Is it protein? Okay, somebody answer that. And then we'll keep it moving. Okay, there's 3 macronutrients. I need someone to comment. Let me know. 1, okay, someone says fats are not essential. So you're saying that we don't need fat in order to live. And without fats, we would die. That's what you're saying. Okay, so someone says fats. Okay, fats. We got another person says fats. Okay, are you ready for shock value here? Number 1, when it comes to fats, you've probably heard of omega-3 fatty acids from fish, omega-6 fatty acids, where those are essential fatty acids, meaning we must consume them in order to live. So we must eat fat. The other one that we must eat is protein. So look above. I said there are 20 amino acids and 9 are essential. So that was a giveaway. There we must consume protein in order to get those essential amino acids. The thing that we don't need to live, and I don't even like saying it out loud. And Sheila, drum roll, got it right. It is carbohydrates. We don't need them because our bodies can actually create them. Whoa! Interesting. We don't need them, but our bodies can create them. Now, here's the other part that you must understand. There are a lot of healthy benefits to consuming carbs, to include dietary fiber and all the things that helps our guts thrive. And when you look around the world where people live the longest, even modern day, hunter-gatherers, they are eating carbs. They are eating carbs. They're not essential, but they're essential, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so we got that. So carbs are not essential. So why do I bring this up? Well, because today we're talking about proteins, and it's important to know that there's 3 macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbs. All right, let's go ahead and keep it moving. Here's my question to you. Now that we know there's 3 different types of carbs, and I think we're making some good progress, can carbs that you eat be stored in your body? So the question, someone please take a shot at it. Yes or no. If you eat carbs, and we know carbs convert to sugar in our body, but when you eat carbs, can that sugar be stored inside of your body? Someone answer. Then we move on. It's very important that you understand this. And knowing this is going to help you understand what you really want to know about protein. Okay, I'm asking again. I need somebody to volunteer. Someone step up. Can carbs be stored in your body after you eat them? Can they be stored? All right. Someone says no. Okay. And then Sheila says yes. And the correct answer is yes. Carbs can be stored in your body and are stored in your body, both in your muscles and your kidneys. So your kidneys will take in carbs, same as your muscle, and it will store some of it, but it can only store so much. And it does hit a capacity. So there's a limited amount, but it can store it, and it does that as a protective mechanism for us when our blood sugar levels drop too low. Then our body can provide us with some carbs in our blood, right? Some glucose. When we have something that's going to happen and we need energy to our brain really quick, if it's not floating around and not all available at that moment, then our muscles can create, and take that stored carb in the form of glycogen and use it to do whatever it needs. And if you listen to me at all, we have this powerhouse in our cells called the mitochondria. And inside the mitochondria, you have this thing called ATP. Very important. ATP is waiting on carbs. It needs carbs to make it possible for us to rock and roll as far as walking to the store, getting up, sitting down, how our energy levels are. So yes, we can store carbs. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. So we got carbs. Carbs can be stored in the body. Can fats be stored in the body? Who's going to answer this one? I may give away a book. Who's going to answer this one correctly? Can fat be stored in the body? Who's going to answer? Can fat be stored in the body? Now, this is a giveaway. I mean, come on. You could be sleeping to get this one. Yes. Okay. Sheila's on it. Someone else is on it. We got it. Yes, because we know about body fat, right? We know that if you eat, fat can be stored in our fat cells. Now, here's the big question for the evening or the day. Can protein be stored in your body? This is the one. This is the magic. Okay, we got 3 macronutrients. We know that carbs will store glucose inside of the body, right? When you eat carbs, and this is all positive. We know that fats can go in the fat cells. Can protein be stored in your body? I can't see the person's name. I'm not sure where they are, but Sheila says yes. Someone else said yes. And if you want your name to appear, you can just put like dash to your name because you must be in one of our private groups as you're responding to this through this software. Protein cannot be stored in the body. Protein cannot be stored in the body. I'm going to say that one more time. Not like fats and carbs. Protein cannot be stored in the body. When you eat protein, let's say you had a steak or you had chicken, something that you know has protein in it, even though I can get protein from broccoli and a whole bunch of other stuff, it eventually makes its way into your gut microbiome, your intestinal tract. It gets broken down. Some of it can be used inside of the tract, but eventually it gets broken down into amino acids. And all of those amino acids are individual letters. And those individual letters can then make their way into our bloodstream, which then they can come back together and they can create that protein that becomes a building block. Or it may be part of an enzyme, or it may be part of a hormone. It works as magic, not as individual amino acids, but it comes together and forms a unit. Now, whatever protein, the protein that you consume, when it's broken down, it goes through that function. If it's not used today, some of it can get stored, but what happens is it actually can convert back through a pathway to become a fat or to become a carb. Woo! So yes, that is a protein pathway, okay, the metabolic pathway. Now, it's important to also know that our liver is very, very delicate, as you know. And there are people who have fatty livers. And so what kind of protein you eat plays a big role on if you can reduce that fatty liver. The liver helps to excrete protein. But if you had a compromised liver, let's say that something happens to your liver and it's impaired, one of the first recommendations the doctor's going to give you is to cut back on protein. Because when you take in too much protein and your liver has to deal with it, then that's a struggle. And that, as a result, can also bring down your ATP levels. So the right amount of protein, which I'm going to tell you, you're good. Another interesting thing about the liver is that when you go to sleep, our livers will make protein. Our liver is working hard. And if it wasn't making protein, you would be dead. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but you would be dead. Now, our liver is important. Our overall health is important. And if you want to maximize protein synthesis, which is all the positive things you hear about protein, make sure that you're getting a good amount of protein in the morning. And that doesn't mean you have to go buy products with barcodes that say protein. If you ate a cup of broccoli, you're getting 5 grams of protein. If you're eating avocado, which is primarily fat, you're getting protein. We get protein from all of these things. And remember, you can get all of the amino acids from plants as well as from things that used to walk around, swim, fly, crawl. We do not have a problem getting enough protein, you guys. Okay, a lot of people say you got to protein. Don't eat real food instead of thinking that you need to go with like a tortilla that's rich in protein. What else is the rest of the stuff that makes it what it is? I would rather have a corn tortilla that is close to nature, maybe 3 ingredients, if that, to include salt and the corn. I mean, when I was overseas in Latin communities, I watched people make the corn tortilla like from scratch, heat that baby up, and people were losing weight there with me. And they're like, man, I'm eating more bread, I'm eating more starch, I'm eating more, tortillas, but yet I'm losing weight, I'm feeling better. Yes, close to nature. If you're going to eat bread, eat bread. Don't get these crazy breads that they push up. That's marketing to you. That is marketing to you. Now, once you have the amino acids floating around in your blood, your body doesn't know if it came from an animal or if it came from a broccoli or even a protein powder. It just knows that we got these amino acids floating around, and then they come together and create units, and that's what we want. So, next question is, what's the likelihood of you not getting enough protein? In America, I don't think you have a problem with that at all. Not at all. Not at all. You don't need to go buy everything that says high in protein. Just eat regular, real food, and you will get an adequate amount of protein easily. Easily. Now, if you wanted to go make it, set a goal, okay, let's set a goal. But most people, if you're getting a half a gram per pound, you're doing good. So let's say you weighed 150 pounds and you're a woman. And I'm saying that because a man would have more muscle. Well, and you got 75 grams of protein, I think you're good. Could you do more? Well, we know that whatever you don't use today, here's the take home. Whatever you don't use today will what? It will be converted back to carbs or fat. So you're avoiding carbs, but yet you're creating, unless your body is in this crazy place of extreme real scientific ketosis. Now, if you're scientific keto, okay, I hope it, works for you long term, because the studies are out and it's very clear. One, of the damage we're doing to our gut microbiome because we're not eating fruits and vegetables. And number two, the fact that it is creating major disruption and people can't sustain it. That's the reality. So I wouldn't be too concerned with how much, if you're getting enough protein. You're getting enough protein. The thing is, make sure you're changing it up and eating a variety of foods. And then the last one is, what happens if you consume more protein than your body can use? I just answered it. It will just get converted. It will just get converted to carbohydrates or fat. And it can cause some problems if you're really consuming a lot and you have an impaired kidney or liver. All of that plays a big role. All of it. Okay. So anyway, I think I answered it. Any questions for me before I say goodbye? Goodbye. Don't be concerned with protein. Quit buying all that stuff that's packed with craziness. Eat real food. I would rather see you eat a cheese stick than to buy something that that says protein rich or high in protein. I mean, they're starting to put like protein on, get an iced tea, like, because people think that protein, if it has more protein, is better. That is not true. It is not true, you guys. It is not true. Okay. I have clients right now who are struggling with their weight and they're vegans. I have like seven clients right now that are vegans, like hardcore vegans. And all they eat is carbs and fat, and they're losing weight. It's just a matter of our methodology. You learn how to eat it in a way that gets you the results that you want. Okay? All right, you guys. Hey, if you haven't learned about our detox drop, check it out. Drop it like it's hot. Everything from uric acid to body fat to inches off the waistline to blood pressure. I'm very proud of this thing. And if you want to learn more about it, check it out. Other than that, thank you for your time. I appreciate you. I'm Robert Ferguson. And if you want to learn more, if you want to contact me, go to dietfreelife.com. Until the next one, peace.